Hello, everyone. It's Tav1, Josh here. So, we're back for the second episode of Tav on Tav, and I'm joined by the wonderful Tina Barnes, who plays Tav 8.
Hello.
How are you, Tina? You well?
Yes, yeah, I'm good, thank you. And how are you?
Yes, good. Good, good, good. So, let's just jump in. So, the first question, what was the audition process for Boulders Gate 3 like?
Right. Well, I had to hang on, let me have a think about this. It was back in 2019, which was feels like an age ago now. But
Mm.
I had to do, your normal self-tape. But I don't know about you, but I had four characters that they asked me to read for. Um, and I literally went to town on it because I was like, oh, it's a computer game. Okay, so I'm gonna instead of just having a hint of the character, I was like, I'm gonna dress up. I'm gonna really embody these characters. And so there was an Irish dwarf that I had, a plain walker, devilkin, and there was another one as well that I can't remember. But anyway, they were all different. So yeah, so I did that and sent it in, and then obviously they liked what they saw, and I was like, hey, putting on all that makeup helped. So
I do think back, and I think I did a play, and it was like 4 rounds, and
wow.
it was like a year. And then when I think back, I think I just did the one tape for Baldur's Gate, and then they're like, "Yeah, you've got the job." And then it was like a 4 year gig, and I was like, it was a lot of faith. I'm always very grateful for that. It's a lot of
Yeah,
faith.
actually, yeah, I think I was the same. It was they saw that tape, and then they didn't ask me to do a recall or anything, which is what you would normally expect for something, as big as Baldur's Gate. But yeah, like you say, a lot of faith in us, which was
Yes, yeah. Do you have the sort of fantasy cosplay on hand, or did you just sort of have to amalgamate a few different things?
well. I've actually got a dressing up box, so
Oh no, I
yeah,
respect that. I
for
respect
all
that.
occasions.
It's got to be done, you know. It's got to be done, and people laugh, but it's you're always the one where people go, "Oh, have you got like a pirate shirt or something?" And I go,
Yeah,
"Well, you mocked me, but now."
but no, I actually have. So, and if I don't, I'll run out and get one. Yeah, I've got
Um.
many things.
So number two, what was the most concerning line that you had to interpret?
Um, Concerning for myself, or for what effect it might have
I
on the
I think it
audience
can be
listening
either,
to it.
either or both, whichever you feel.
Okay. Um, I mean, I remember there were some odd moments there's some odd scenes in this game, aren't there?
Yes, yeah.
And I think I remember going back, I was doing some reading about owl bears. I was doing some voice for an owl bear, and maybe this owl bear was coming on to another creature or something like that. There was some kind of weird thing involved with these creatures, and I had to comment on it and watch as well at one
Yes,
point.
yeah, yeah,
And because you're there and you're in the room and it's all in your head and your imagination, so you're picturing these creatures doing what they do. That disturbed me. That I was concerned with that. And then I remember. Do you remember? There's that psychopath running around at one point as a big clown. Um, I can't remember his name, but he basically gets
yeah.
chopped off. Do you remember?
Yes, yeah. Dribbles,
Dribbles the clown,
dribbles the
poor
clown.
old Dribbles, and you were going around just finding
Yeah,
parts of
yeah, yeah.
him.
And you're quite casually like, "Oh, yeah, it's another part of this clown."
Yeah. Oh dear, that's another. Oh look, there's
Yeah.
his. It's his leg. Yay! That
I'm glad that our seasoned adventurers are kind of by that point slightly more desensitized to the
mm.
violence of body parts because I definitely think I'd have retched a lot more me personally if I was picking up the body parts of a clown. It's just two things I don't really want to associate with body parts and clowns kind of in one
No, clowns are
horrible
scary enough,
amalgamation.
right?
Yeah,
Without adding all of that into
exactly.
it.
Number three. How did you find the right voice for your Tav with the limited backstory that you had?
um, so finding the voice, I think to start with was uh, talking to the director the very first time that I went there, and I remember them saying to me when you did the audition and it was the plane walker, and the Planewalker was quite aloof and upright and sort of quite deep, I think, in her range as well. They said this is the type of thing that we like. So can we work on this and have some more of that? And then so that was just to gain the the I guess the outline of the voice itself. But then obviously we didn't have any background information on what was happening or where we were or what even the game was actually to start with, because it was using a code name, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I didn't ask because I didn't want to accidentally slip something out. So to find that, knowing like how I should be sounding now, I found that I was then going through the adventure at the same time as the character.
Yeah, yeah.
So for me, that was I was finding it and I was exploring and discovering at the same time as she was, which was really exciting, and sort of if you didn't really know what you were looking at or you couldn't understand something, I would generally ask, what can I see? What am I viewing? Or just to put in a tiny bit more context. Um, but yeah, on a whole, I liked that discovery.
Yeah.
Um,
I think we
yeah.
recorded most of the game chronologically,
Yes. Yeah.
which was a real blessing.
Mm,
But speaking for myself, as you said, to have that journey,
yeah.
and as my voice sort of changed slightly over the 4 years, and also, I think I live in London, so I just became wearier after 4 years, and I think
Right.
it probably reflected well in the character that he was quite tired.
Well, it's always nice to bring in a bit of yourself, isn't
Yes, yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Really
He's
good.
weary, I'm weary, we're all just
Like we really get a sense of the tiredness. I'm like, thank you.
yeah. Yeah,
Um,
they actually used my because I'm from the Midlands. So when I first recorded as well, um, I said a couple of my first lines, and in the Midlands we've got sort of different vowel sounds to a southern accent, So instead of castle, I would say castle and those sort of things. And I remember saying like, "Oh, it's past or it's something or other," and the director, because they're in your ear, aren't they? They're like,
yeah,
"Oh,
yeah.
what? Oh, it's all right. Just I don't think anyone else has said it like that or with that." And I said, "Oh, do you want me to put on more of an RP or?" And they were like, "No, let's leave it. We'll have it like that." So that discovery just came from that wasn't even a discovery. That was just my voice really coming
I,
through. That was
I,
that was just me talking. So
I think we're quite lucky in that, as British actors, we're quite lucky that fantasy has sort of, or the fantasy genre, be it TV, film, or game, or anything, has sort of become this sort of the British Isles are kind of like when people do fantasy stuff, they're like, well, everyone's British because that's how it works in fantasy land.
that's where it was born, right? That's where
Yeah,
Tolkien's
yeah,
from,
yeah,
and
yeah.
so obviously it's
And I do sort of go, oh, thank God, because I really love
yeah,
fantasy stuff, and but
me
it is it
too.
is this funny thing where you don't really see a lot of American fantasy. I'm not complaining, of course, because the work's lovely, but we're very lucky. Um, so number four, how was your Tav described?
So she is a human fighter, but a human rogue, and she was described to me as someone who is very confident in herself, in her fighting ability as well. So she's always very, very poised, very still, and but always kind of ready for action. So her senses are very heightened all the time, and
Oh
she
yeah,
can, she senses danger when she walks in a room from 360 danger, um, but also she knows what she has to do. She's got a mission, and she wants to accomplish that. So she can be very short with people, quite sharp, aloof as well, which I really enjoyed playing that. The aloofness was really fun, and sarcastic. Some of her lines were great. I really enjoyed that. Yeah.
yeah. I think a couple of us became quite sarcastic. Mine became. I'm not sure if he was always sarcastic, and I just picked up on it more. But
All right.
my
Yeah.
Tav definitely by the end was quite sarcastic, which I loved.
Brilliant.
You bring
Were you
a
a rogue as well? Were
I
you
no, I think I was a fighter or a warrior. He was described as, or the voice was described as princely, grew up just outside Boulders Gate,
Oh,
sort of a little bit, just sort of kind of classic, sort of fightery, humany,
yeah,
princely. Um, yeah, not
very
not
good actually.
not doesn't have the 360 danger, but was pretty sarcastic. So,
Mm.
do you have a go-to monologue? This one's not a particularly Boulders Gate question, more of an acting question. Do you have a go-to monologue?
Yes, interesting question. No, I don't. I don't, and I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I'm completely not prepared in that way. So I was like, do a monologue now, which I was thinking if I did say yes, would you have made me do it?
No, 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 no.
Good.
Did you go
Um,
to drama school?
yeah, I did. Yeah, yeah. So,
I was saying to some friends that, sorry to cut you off there. I was saying to some friends that
so
I definitely thought that monologues would be a bigger thing in the industry. Like when you're
mhm,
at drama school, they're like, you got to have monologues, monologues,
yeah,
monologues. And someone in
yeah.
my house, this guy that I live with, he went to the library one Saturday and literally spent 8 hours going through all the plays and photocopying monologues. And he just
Mhm.
had this dossier of monologues. And then you go out into the industry and you never use them. You never
No.
use them.
Well, that's what I found. Like when I left drama school, I did have, several monologues that I could go to. You have your Shakespearean one, a modern one, I don't know, dramatized, what is it like, really sort of dramatic one, um, and all sorts. But like with you, the only times I've been asked to do a monologue over the years is say if it's a theatre production.
Yes,
Um,
yeah,
and then a lot of the time they will send you a monologue anyway and say learn this. So because I do mostly TV and film work, they just send you the slides, don't they? They send you the casting
yeah.
tape and they say there you go. So like, well, I don't need one until I need one.
Question number 6. This is quite a lovely one. How
Mm.
does it feel knowing you've brought so many tabs to life? And a side note, the person that asked this question has had a tab using your voice for 12 months.
Wow. Okay. That's Do you know what? It's just really like I get a lot of enjoyment knowing that other people are just having so much fun with this game and enjoying it so much, and that gives me a lot. And it's, I mean, for that person to have been using my voice for 12 months, like, but I suppose my first one would be, "Aren't you bored of my voice?" I get bored of my voice, um, but um, but no, it's lovely and I suppose it's quite overwhelming, isn't it, to know that you're part of such a big,
Yeah,
immense game that's having such a wonderful impact on people and things. So
yeah,
yeah, it feels lovely. It makes me feel
yeah.
more lovely.
It's amazing. Seeing how much it's resonated with people has
Mm,
been really amazing. Really
yeah,
been
yeah,
great.
most definitely. I agree.
Number 7. Since Tav can be anyone and has to have a sense of one size fits all, how did you work with that?
Um, that was a hard one, I suppose. But I suppose at the start, I didn't really know that it was going to be used for many different,
Yes, yeah, yeah.
yeah, for many different types of character. Um, but I suppose this is for this type of thing. I suppose this was where the directors who were absolutely fantastic and sort of working with us. I think that's where they really shone, is because if they needed to get a performance out of you in a certain way, um, then they had, that they were extremely skilled in molding your performance to
Yeah.
what they needed it to be or how they were picturing it or how they knew it had to be, because obviously they've got all the different side
Yeah.
notes and things. And it was like if they felt that it needed something extra, they would just throw a different adjective at you, wouldn't they? They would
Yeah,
be like,
yeah.
okay, no, not that. Hang on, and they were so passionate about you getting the performance right, so that it was right for the whole thing. Um, that you would just keep going until you nailed it, basically.
Yeah. There's a
Uh,
lot of passion
yeah.
making that game. I think it really comes across.
Mm,
Um, and there was I remember and I think that was the wonderful thing. Shout out to Pit Stop Productions. But there were so many D&D people at Pit Stop that, they had the handbooks, and they were just rifling through things. They're always really keen
Yes.
to be like, this is that, and this is what that looks like, and I
Yeah, and
like
I
to think
love
that
that.
passion comes across.
I think it does definitely, and they, like you say, they were always there, going, okay, that, and because I don't know about you, but I would sort of ask a lot. All right, well, what does that look like, or what am I
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
at? What is this? Hang on, let me find a picture of, I don't know, the nether brain, or let me get that up. 1 second, and you could in like tip tap tapping away
yeah, yeah,
in the booth. You're like, okay, and you're looking at your little screen where
yeah,
it's up here, and then suddenly this, I was like, you'd be like, oh, it's really huge. Okay,
yeah,
so now I get it, and and so they were always there to feed that into you, and it just, I think, enhanced the performances really all round, didn't it? With
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
absolutely.
yeah,
Number 8. Did you ever have a picture in mind for how your part would look?
yeah. So she would have, the high boots. She'd have sort of leather armor. I would
Hmm.
picture her in leather armor, leather gauntlets, that sort of stuff, and look really strong and tough. Um, but then there were moments when they would say, "Oh, I think on this line you're a Githyanki, or this is a Githyanki line,
Yes,
or
yeah,
this is this and that is that." So for that, obviously, I'd say, what does that look like again? They would show me, I'm like, right, okay, so I've got all these cool markings, and I'm looking. This is cool. But apart from the moments when they said, "Oh, now you're speaking as a such and such," then I think, yeah, she was just a tough warrior.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's been the joy of it is kind of when people have tagged me and stuff, or I've
Mm,
seen videos and kind of going, just seeing how people have heard sort of our voice and then been like, this is how I think they sound, or that,
yeah.
that's been really lovely to kind of see
Yeah.
the journey that people have taken the voices on
No,
creatively.
that's great because I've seen a couple now on YouTube when people are posting things, and some of them are like, "Wow, I never would have put my voice to that
Yeah,
image,
yeah,
but that is really cool.
yeah.
You've made me an elf, or you've given me horns, or my hair is all wild, or whatever." But yeah, it's fun though, isn't it, to see that?
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It's crazy as well. It is crazy. Uh, um, Number 9. If you could be a part of any other video game slash video game franchise, which would you
Mhm.
pick?
I mean, I'm not a gamer. I'll admit that now.
Wow.
But
Okay. Well, that's the end of that interview.
so boom, end, leave. But I do have a soft spot for zombie apocalypses. Um,
Oh,
yeah, I do like a good zombie apocalypse. So I'm thinking something like Resident Evil, or what's the other one that's is it? I can't think of the other one.
The
Anyway.
Last of Us.
Oh yeah, The Last of Us, that's the one. Yes, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So something like that. But also because I'd really like to play a big monster in something as well. A big zombie, or a big, mutated creature, which is
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
around
There's a character
attacking everything. Yeah.
really feral, just horrible.
Exactly.
There's something kind of weirdly freeing about it. Sort of being able to go to that place. And I
Yeah,
think
exactly.
that's an important thing for anyone who's thinking about doing mocap and stuff is just letting go of embracing the cringe and letting go of that sort of the doubt because, you know, it's actually quite liberating when they go. So you just sort of, I've done a couple of zombie mocap things and
Oh, have you?
yeah, it's good fun
Yeah.
when, but you do have to kind of step over that hurdle that you've made yourself of being like, oh, what if I look like an idiot? And
So,
just being like, just
yeah, but you're a zombie with like half a leg and half an arm, and
yeah, it's
you're chasing
great.
after a puppy dog. I don't know, like
And then you
embrace it.
ride the tube like a normal person afterwards, and you're sat there like,
Yeah. God. Did
um,
you have to play a big monster then, or were you a
um,
zombie in
no, I
that?
did. So I worked on the Last of Us TV series,
Oh
and I did
right.
a superhero film,
Yeah.
isn't out yet, but we're playing some zombies, so we had to like it
Nice.
was really cool. They basically we were scaling the wall of a city, and so the
Right.
floor was the wall, and essentially what they're going to do is then rotate everything like that. And we
Yeah.
sort of had to kind of crawl, and then occasionally we'd sort of like, if this is the wall, we'd kind of sort of go, and we sort of like pretend, and then we were just really low and writhing, and it was exhausting,
Nice.
but when they kind of there were 10 of us doing it, just
Yeah,
crawling in a line, and then they kind of flipped it so it looked like we were climbing up a wall, and you sort of go, yeah, that was worth
that was
committing
worth
to
it.
the insanity.
Do you know what? My friend had me do that a few weeks ago. We were at this place out in the country at this pub, and there was this lovely cobbled floor, and my friends were like, "Tina, go and crawl on that, like go and do what you do, and we'll." They
Do
did
it.
it.
Go on, do what you do.
Do what you do. So I was like, "What now?" I was like, "Yeah, okay." So crawling up, exactly what you did, and then they flipped the video. Looks amazing.
No way. I think that's how they filmed some of the old Batman films. I'm pretty sure the Adam West
Ah,
ones. I'm pretty sure when
okay.
he's sort of going up a building with Robin, they've
Oh,
done
the
it the
really
same
old
thing.
ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I think they do that.
All the movie magic.
Oh, fun.
Um, Hardest part of voice acting, number 10.
Oh, okay. Um, I think probably the hardest part is that you don't have anything else to rely on except your voice to convey emotion.
Yeah,
Um, so obviously with traditional acting, with screen acting, theatre, you've got everything else that you can look at. You've got facial expressions and body language. Um, Whereas if you strip all that away and you're just trying to put it through the voice, then there are so many points and marks that you have to hit in order to convey that convincingly
yeah,
and authentically. Because obviously the microphone it picks up absolutely everything, doesn't it?
yes,
So
yeah,
yeah, and and even like a little exhale or inhale of breath can make something sound like you're about to cry or you're about to burst into laughter,
yeah,
whereas all it is no, I was just breathing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so so I think that's the hardest part, and it's training that skill to just be authentic through this tool,
Yeah.
really. Yeah, is that what you find?
Yeah, so I think I said to Neil Roberts that especially like because I was doing TV before I did Boulders Gate. I'd just come off a TV job, and sort of all
Yeah,
those kind of like little like those
yeah,
tiny little micro expressions and those things that because when you're at drama school, everyone's like, acting is reacting, and then you get in the booth and you're like, I have none. You have to strip away all of those things.
yeah,
Um, and it's a wonderful challenge, but yeah, it's just you just sort of slightly swallow a word and they're like, oh, were you going for emotional? I was like, no, I was just choking actually.
oh, that's it. I got one once, and the who was it? It was Steve. I think he was there right at the very beginning. He was one of the sound guy, sound technician. And at one point, he went, oh, Tina, he's like, could you just take a sip of water? I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, sure. I was like, is everything all right? Yeah, I can just do it.
Yo, my
And I
God.
was like, oh my God, that's so
That's the
embarrassing.
hardest thing about voice
You
acting.
can hear all the saliva in my mouth.
Oh,
That's
it's hot.
great.
The noises your body makes is horrible. The noises, just something that, I was saying it's so weird because as I was saying earlier, I've been doing this audiobook, and
Mm,
I don't think my stomach's particularly vocal, but for some reason, when you get in that small,
uh-huh.
sort of dead space
Yeah.
with a really kind of like crazy good microphone, and then suddenly you just feel like, and you just go to say something, and there'll be your throat's doing weird creaks, and you're going, "Oh my God, shut up! You don't do
Yeah.
this at home. What are you doing? Don't embarrass me like this."
Stop. Shh.
You've got to time eating so well because if you eat too late, you get the stomach
Oh.
sounds. If you eat too early, you get the stomach sounds. That's the hardest
Yeah, so
voice
that is
line.
so that is also a hard part of it. Yeah.
Number 11, your favorite part of working on Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh. Uh, okay, so while working on it, um, I think I just loved getting into the space and then just losing myself
Yeah.
in in that world and in my imagination. And because you're just in the box, aren't you? Like this big grey box with your screen in front of you, various voices in your head
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
through your headphones. Um, which the direction that I don't know if you found this, but at times you're almost in a trance. It's almost
Yes,
trance,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so you're repeating the lines and you're going down, and then they're telling you, okay, well, there's this here, that there, and and suddenly like the room is transformed into everywhere you can see in your mind's eye, you know. And I just love doing that and just shutting out reality for those like 3 4 hours at a
Yeah,
time, and being totally absorbed in this world that we were bringing, you know, helping to bring to life.
yeah.
So that was just fantastic and very very indulgent, really.
Oh, you've
But
got to allow yourself indulgences.
yeah. Yeah, it's, and I think as an actor, that's one of the things we love anyway, isn't it? It's you know, just becoming other people
Yeah,
and experiencing their worlds. Um, and since Baldur's Gate has been released, you know, one of my favorite things now is just to see how many people are enjoying it. That is what I'm that's one of the best things for me now, is just to see how it's being received.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And yeah, that makes me feel good. Yeah.
Yeah. What a lovely answer. Last question, number 12. Favorite line you delivered? If you remember, Neil's sort of straight away went,
What was the other
he
God?
went, I don't remember any of them.
Do you know what I remember? I remember a lot of, well, I don't remember the insults, but I remember doing all the
Oh, the
vicious
vicious mockery.
mockery. Oh gosh, that was so much fun to do.
So much fun.
Yeah, a lot of those lines, I was laughing at a lot of those. Like I was in between takes, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm just
Yeah, yeah,
letting,
yeah.
yeah. Or you'd shock yourself that those words had just come out your mouth as well. That's like, you'd say it first because you'd be like, what? Did I just, what?
Yeah, I do have a tendency to kind of jump into a line and then sometimes I don't know what it is. Sometimes I just kind of I'm like, right, next line, I don't read it. I just kind of
Yeah.
start going for it. And then
Mm.
you sort of go through and you're going, piss addled.
Yeah, that's it.
Jesus.
You'd be like, my mouth feels dirty now, wouldn't I? Some of them. But
Wonderful
was,
writing. The writers are Larian. I mean,
oh,
the whole
yeah.
game is beautifully written, but the vicious mockery was just scathing.
It
Scathing.
really was something else. Yeah. I think there was something, was there something about a pig's testicle?
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, I can't
was
remember what it was.
like you're like, something about you're as smart, or you're as, was it you're as sharp?
Oh, like sharp as a
Yeah,
pig's
like your
testicle or
wits,
something.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, like you're as sharp as a pig's testicle. I've got to write some of these down. These are amazing.
There's one of my favorites which I'd forgotten. I'm playing the game at the moment and I forgot until I heard it, which was mouthier than an arse and twice as full of shit.
Oh, I love it.
I was like,
Yeah.
bravo, bravo, bravo. It'll be really hard to kind of not adopt some of those into my, if I ever get into an argument with someone and just suddenly
Just come out
perform
with
vicious mockery. It would
it.
definitely baffle people if someone was like,
It would, wouldn't
yeah.
it? You're getting bothered on the bus or at the bus
Yeah,
stop. You're like,
yeah, yeah. I turn around and go, mouthier than an arse and twice
yes,
as full of shite. So,
twit, twat, twat.
yeah. Just some
Oh,
youth
okay.
at the back of the bus going,
Yeah, this person's obviously crazy. We'll leave that one alone.
oh dear. Well, that rounds out our questions. That rounds out our
Okay.
questions. Is there anything you'd like to add? We've got, unfortunately, Zoom allows you to record for 40 minutes and then it'll charge you.
Oh,
So we've got
oh,
five
I
and a
should
half
know
minutes. If
that.
there's anything you'd like to add or anything you'd like to say or.
Um, no, just I suppose thanks to everyone for all of the questions, for all of the wonderful feedback that you're giving the game as well, and for all the, you know, all your kind words really, and letting us know about them too, because that means a lot for all of us and everyone involved in the game. And yeah, and just thank you for, and I'm so happy that you're all enjoying it. I'm really really pleased about that. It's great. Yeah,
Amazing. Well, Tina, thank you so much for joining me today. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on.
yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Have a lovely day.
Bye.